All right, good morning, boys. What is up? My name is Alessandro. You guys know I have well over $350,000 in payouts. So when I'm giving you advice, it is genuine, it comes from the heart, and I know what I am fucking talking about, right? And today's video is gonna be about overcoming the stigma of being attached to a dollar amount, or overcoming the idea of connecting trading with money. That attachment that you have to money, let it go. How to detach from a dollar amount, how to detach from a P&L. I'm pretty sure it has like golden spoon syndrome. Like, I don't know the name of it. It has a name. It has a scientific term. I don't know it. I remember it. It's called like golden something syndrome, right? If I remember it, I will let you guys know. I'll put it in the comments. But the entire concept of this video is the fact that a lot of you guys are break even, if not unprofitable, and you don't understand why, because you're following a system. You think your psychology is good, but when it actually comes down to making money, you're taking profits early, you're cutting your stops short, you're losing too much money on trades, you're crashing out because you want to make your money back. And all these issues stem from money. If you won your first trade, would you take a second trade? Or would you trade to make more money, assuming you're up $1,000 on the day? No. If your goal or your dream is to make $1,000 on the day and you made $1,000 on your first trade, are you going to take a second trade? No, because you just hit your goal. If you lost $500 on the first trade, what are you going to do? You should do nothing. That's what you should do. You should realize that you followed your system. Maybe, hey, you have this goal of making $1,000 today. That doesn't mean you have to hit it every day, right? First of all, you shouldn't have a goal. You shouldn't have a dollar amount goal. This is just to get an idea, an example in your mind. When you're trading, you should never have a dollar amount goal. And that is what I want to tell you guys, is that a lot of you guys are so fixated with the dollar amount. The reason most of you guys overtrade, the reason most of you guys go on tilt, is because you lost a trade that lost you money. And you're probably sitting here like, oh, Ale, no shit. No shit, that's the reason I took a second trade. Well, when you actually acknowledge that the reason you're over trading and gambling and over leveraging in these markets is because you're so attached to your P&L. You're so attached to the fact that you can't have a losing day. You're attached to the concept of making money every day, when that is not the case in trading. That is not the case whatsoever. Losing days are normal. Losing weeks are normal. You might even have a few losing months here and then. As long as you're green on the year, that is all that matters. That is all that matters. But that's a story for another day, right? The whole concept about today is detaching yourself from a dollar amount. In order to become a profitable trader, you generally cannot be attached to the dollar amount. You cannot give a shit about the outcome of your trade. If you take 10 trades and you know your system works, you know, hey, 7 of these trades are most likely going to win with a 1 to 2 risk reward, you have yourself a very profitable system. A 70% win rate with a 1 to 2 risk reward is an extremely profitable system, right? So why are you getting upset when you take a loss? It's because you're so fixated on the dollar amount. Learn that the outcome of your trade is not significant to the dollar amount correlated to it, right? The outcome of your trade does not fucking matter. When you're entering a trade, you are entering the trade because, hey, this is my system. This is my system, and I think price is gonna do A, B, and C. And if price does A, B, and C, I will enter targeting this draw on liquidity, right? If price does A and B, I'll enter here targeting that. I don't care if I win, I don't care if I lose, because I know my system is profitable, right? You're so attached to the P&L, learn to let go, right? And there's no magical way to let go. There's no magical story I could tell you right now that's gonna make you just, oh, you know what, Ada, you're right. I'm gonna just let go of the P&L and trade my system, because I wish it was truly that simple, but it never really is in trading. And it's easier for me to sit here and tell you to detach and to let go, but there's no magical way to do that. And it sucks to say, there is no magical way to just let go of the outcome of your trading besides actually fucking doing it. Actually fucking doing it. Sit down, win or lose, you're happy with your result. Try it out for the next 2 weeks. You take your trade. You take your trade. Did you follow your system? Yes or no? If the answer is no, you already lost this challenge. You already lost. If the answer is yes, I followed my system, the outcome should not matter. It should not matter. The outcome should not matter in your trade. You're focusing so much on the dollar amount you're making, you are unironically going to make the most amount of money when you care the less about it. And it sounds stupid to say, but you will realize as you grow as a trader, the less you value a dollar amount in your trading And the less you give a shit about it, which you should not give a shit about it, because the money you're making from trading is simply an outcome of the variables you're putting in. And the variables you're putting in are the trades you're taking on a daily basis. So what happens when you're putting in shit variables, AKA taking shit trades? Your outcome is going to be poor. If you're putting in poor inputs, you are going to receive poor outputs, right? What's a poor input? What's a poor variable? A sloppy trade. If you're taking sloppy trades, if you're taking a trade to make money, that's a poor input. If you're taking trades because you want to make money that day, that's a poor input. If you're taking a trade because you lost your last trade and you're mad and you're not actually following your system, poor input. What does poor input lead to? Poor outputs. Why do you want poor outputs? And you've seen it before. You've seen yourself blow your accounts. You've seen yourself lose your funded, blow your eval, lose all this money upset over a losing day, over a losing trade. Yet you still repeat the same mistakes over and over. It's time to call it a fucking day. Put your fucking head down, get to work, understand you have a system that works for you. You have all these good inputs and good variables to implement into your system, yet you let yourself skew your own variables by taking those shit trades. Do you know how many of my students were unprofitable for months until they actually realized the one thing holding them back was taking these shit trades? You can be as good as a trader as you want. If you take sloppy trades, there is no making up for it. You can't outrun a bad diet. It is that simple, right? Same thing applies to trading. If you have 10 trades, and like I said, 7 of them are winners, and they have a 1 to 2 risk reward, you have a winning system. And let's say one of those 3 trades you lost, you can't believe it. You can't believe you just lost a trade. You crash out. So you double down, you lose that trade. You double down again, you lose that trade. You just lost like 7R in one trade, in like one 10-minute span, because you couldn't believe a loss when it should have been 1R. You just lost 1, 2, 3, 4. You just lost basically 7R in the span of fucking 30 minutes because you couldn't believe that you took a loss, right? And now your statistics went from 7 out of 10 winning trades to 5 out of 10 winning trades, and that average of a 1 to 2 risk reward is now gone because you over-risked on those 2 other trades. And the reality is most of you guys would hide those trades. Those trades that you just took that skewed your statistics, that ruined your inputs, you would set them to the side and be like, oh, that doesn't count because like I had a little crash out moment, that doesn't count. Of course it counts because you took that trade and it affected your P&L. Of course the trade counts. Journal it. I want you to feel guilty about those revenge trades, those leverage scalps that you're taking. I want you to put them down in your notebook, have a photo on your phone, and understand that the reason you're holding yourself back is because you're taking these stupid trades and applying these dumb inputs into a good system. Poor inputs lead to poor outputs. Good inputs lead to good outputs, right? And what's a good input? Being detached from the dollar amount, right? Detach yourself from the P&L. Personally, what I do when I'm trading, I don't let myself see the dollar amount that I'm in that trade. I have Top Step X on Tradeify or Alpha. I have it running on the background while trading. I don't actually stare at the P&L. I have my buy button, I click buy 2 contracts. I drag my take profit, I drag my stop loss, and I'm back on TradingView. I'm not looking at how much money I'm up. I'm not looking at how much money I'm down. If I take a loss, oh well, back at it tomorrow. Because I know my system has worked for me well. My system has worked for me very well. I've made over 300K in the last year. So why the fuck would I change my system if it works, right? I would change my system by taking a loss and crashing out over it. Why would I want to do that? No one wants to crash out. No one wants a losing day. Losing days are inevitable. Social media has romanticized the idea of being this perfect trader, that if you take a loss, you're a bad trader. If you have a losing month, you're a bad trader. Social media has no idea what real trading is like, right? A real trader will acknowledge their losses. They'll have losing weeks, they'll have losing months, and it doesn't matter as long as you're green on a yearly basis. You might not even be green on a yearly basis. You might be red one year, right? 10 years down the line, let's say you're worth $5 million, right? You've made $5 million in your trading career from 2025 to 2030, but 2027 was a losing year. Are you gonna look back in your trading career and think, dude, I'm not profitable because I lost in 2027. I lost money in 2027, but you're up $5 million over the last 5 years. Would you consider yourself a good trader then? I'm sure you fucking would. Same concept applies on a yearly basis. So many people are like, oh my God, there's no way, like I just had a red month, I suck. Well, over a 12-month period, are you still green? That is all that matters. That is all that matters, right? You should learn to detach yourself from the money and focus on the inputs of your trades, because only then will you receive better outputs, right? I hope you guys have a blessed day and take what I actually told you today and apply it to the markets, because you sitting here for 10 minutes of your day is worthless if you don't fucking apply it, right? Detach yourself from the money, focus on inputs, and I promise you, you will receive better outputs. I hope you guys have a great fucking day, and I'll see you boys tomorrow. Peace out.